Hey, what's up, y'all? It's popping this D-Boss back to this vid. This is what's the meanest, cruelest thing you said to a man. So these people about to get real rude. You know, with their comments, we're going to see exactly what they said and why it was said. And, yeah, I will share one of mine. If I could think of one. I'll share a thing. Let's watch.
The meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
So I was on a first date with a guy. A first date. Okay, I said this on the first date. I was wasting no time. And we're having drinks, and he proceeds to, like, talk to me and be like, oh, I just have so much pain and so much trauma, and I've been through so much. But stick around, and eventually I'll let you in.
I know you fucking lying.
Okay. So I literally looked him dead in the face and said,
it's a no.
I don't give a fuck about your feelings, your emotions, or any trauma you've had. If you haven't been able to work through your shit, you shouldn't be dating anyone, especially not me. So you need to go and work on yourself and then maybe consider dating. But at the moment, I think you are a little too fragile.
Damn.
I never spoke to him again.
I mean, that's facts, but she winning. She winning.
This might not be the meanest thing I've ever said to a man, but given the circumstances and that he was literally crying at the time, it might be the cruelest. But a couple years ago, I dated this guy who would always open up to me about how he was insecure with his body because of the way that guys used to make fun of him in the locker room. And he specifically would tell me that they used to call him a pussy because his shoulders weren't broad and he like couldn't lift as much as them, so they'd be like, oh, pussy. And he said that as a result of that, he liked to date girls who were really, really tiny to help him feel bigger about himself. And he didn't always find himself attracted to me because I'm bigger than his type. So one day as he was crying to me about it and saying, I don't know why I care about this. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I was just like, oh, it's because you're a pussy, obviously. It was a joke, but I don't...
So
bad
what's the
timing.
meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
I hate that I'm even about to say this, but disclaimer, I was super young. I was in a toxic relationship. And at the time, he was such a cheater. And I didn't cheat. So I was trying to, like, find other ways to hurt his feelings. And my mouth is just vicious. So we were, like, at the end of the relationship where, you know, you're trying to, like, hurt each other's feelings and everybody throwing shots at each other. Just stupid. But anyway,
I know that.
we had just had our kids, and he tried to come for my parenting skills and say I wasn't a good mom. And I said, well, how would you know? Your mama was on crack. She left you with your grandma. Your mama was a crackhead, baby. How would you know?
Your mama was a crackhead, baby.
Off GP.
What's the meanest, cruelest thing
I mean, he
you've
started
ever
it.
said to a man?
That one.
Last time a man raised his voice at me, I asked him if his mom didn't listen to him much as a child, and if that's why he feels the need to scream. He cried.
What's the meanest, cruelest
I mean, that was a valid
thing
question
you've
if
ever
he was
said
yelling.
to a man?
In middle school, this guy was being a huge douche. So I told him that I hoped something bad would happen to him. And then a day later, his mom went missing. She was found, by the way, alive. She's fine.
So what's the meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
I wouldn't say this is the meanest, cruelest thing, but one time this dude told me, he was like, is it weird that I like girls with accents? And I don't know if he was trying to flirt with me or not. I just said, is it weird that I like guys who shut the fuck up? Another instance is when I was on FaceTime with this dude, and there's this psychology trick that you can like point out something small. I'll give you the example that actually happened. I was on FaceTime and I told him, like, your stash is fucking crooked, even though it wasn't. And he said he knew, but he was referring to, like, the time where it was and how he recently fixed it. And even though it wasn't actually crooked in the moment, I still said it was because I knew it was going to bother him. And every, like, 10 minutes on the FaceTime call, he would bring it up and be like, is it actually crooked when it wasn't? It's a psychological manipulative tactic. And then I also continued to say how, like, the space in between his eyebrows were too fucking wide, even though it looked just fucking fine. I made him feel insecure. That's basically what I did.
What's the meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
Are you ready for this one? Okay. So I was talking to a guy who works with teenagers. Really good things for teenagers. So I was like, this one's good, right? He would not respect the fact that the first place I wanted to meet him was in public. He kept trying to get me to come to his house. Really nice house, but like, no, first time I meet you, I'm going to meet you in public. And he says to me, why does this make you uncomfortable? It's not like I'm a rapist. And I said, that's exactly what a rapist would say. I certainly hope that you don't make the young girls you work with feel as uncomfortable as I feel right now.
The meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man.
Often I like to go to my neighborhood bar and decompress after a long week alone. The bartenders know me and know that I love to just perch at the end of the bar, sipping a glass of whiskey and eating a quesadilla, maybe reading a book or just scrolling through my phone. But one night some poor unsuspecting bastard decided to sit right next to me and strike up a conversation.
That's what
And while he's going on and on trying to impress me about his internet startup, I'm just shoving my face full of food and being as gross as humanly possible. Unfortunately, it's not working. Finally, he seems to kind of take the hint, but doesn't, because he lingers and keeps asking, why don't people find me attractive? Why can't I find anybody? I outright tell him maybe it's because you don't understand the subtle cues that some people just want to be left alone. I then tell him, maybe it's because you kind of look like Slappy the doll from the Goosebumps books. After that, he got quiet, a little weepy, and finally left me alone.
How do we know his name?
I don't care I was a bitch. Leave me to eat my quesadilla in peace.
The meanest, cruelest
Alright, some of y'all know
thing
him.
you've ever said to a man.
Towards the end of our relationship, I felt like you didn't exist to me anymore. Just a reminder of who I used to be, which is someone that you were holding on to when I realized that that was just a phase. And now that I found myself, it scares you because now you're aware that I'm worth so much more. You know, the only thing you can do is catch up. I said those words to my abuser, and I felt a part of him die when I said that.
Oh, he
and
was
I'm happy about it.
abusing?
The meanest, cruelest
I
thing
condone
you've
that.
ever said to a man.
The guy was so bad in bed that I thought I was asexual for a year and a half. After that, I started getting a little more divulged into the 18 plus BDSM local scene and all that, and the guy responded one day with, it's not my fault that a bear trap is what's needed to make you come. I responded with, it doesn't take a bear trap, it just takes some fucking effort and knowing how to find the clit. He didn't talk to me for about 4 days, and then after that,
He started.
yeah, things didn't go too well. Another time I got tired of this guy contacting me, I told him every time he thinks of me, says my name, or talks about me, I hope that this certain smell that he had some experience at work with, there was some lady who came in and was just not the most pleasant smelling to the point where he got physically ill while at work due to the smell. Yeah, I told him I hope every time he thinks or speaks of me that smell creeps up in his nose until he gets physically ill again.
What's the meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
The summer before 6th grade, I was at summer camp, and my friend came into the bathroom crying because his kid had called her fat. And at this point in my life, I had been called fat by boys. I was triggered, saw red. I go find this kid, and I sit him down, and I fucking went off on him. I told him that clearly, like, it was evident that his mother didn't love him if she raised him to think it's okay to say that to girls. Obviously there's not a loving parent in his life. Who raised you? The fuck? Disgusting. It must be so sad for you to be unloved. And he started crying, but you know what? I was right.
The meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man.
I debate saying this because this one is going to get me in trouble with a couple of people. But the last time a man attacked me personally, I looked him dead in the eyes and I said, hey, remember that one time your dad was proud of you? Me either. Not sorry.
The meanest,
He attacks you
cruelest
physically?
thing you've
Why don't you
ever
call this
said
blind?
to a man.
So this is specifically towards the end of my previous relationship, and I'm the kind of person that if you want to break up with me, just go ahead and say it. I don't like the mind games. I don't like the silent treatment. I don't like the sudden change in behavior, because all that's going to make me do is just either match it or simply ice you out and move on with my life. So this guy was doing exactly that. He was basically being a big bitch. Like, he was doing the silent treatment. He would take like the entire day to respond to my texts. He stopped calling. He stopped coming over for date nights and taking me out and all of that stuff. So when he started seeing that I also stopped just reacting and always like, no, so hey, how are you? You know, trying to make an effort. He now started coming back and he started asking me, he's like, why are you not giving me attention anymore? Why are you ignoring me? And I looked him dead in the eyes and I told him, with the kind of relationship you've had with your father, I'm sure you're used to being ignored right now.
What's the meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
First of all, I'd like to apologize to any straight men in my personal life that have been victimized by this technique that I've been using for years now. To all my bros, all my Dereks, all my Chads, all my Kyles, yes, I have done this to you most likely. Now, it's not necessarily a specific thing that I say to men, but rather a way of sizing up all the straight men that I encounter and actually talk to and interact with. You see, I do this thing where I treat them like a toddler. I'll do anything from minimizing the way that I articulate a sentence to playing dumb when I ask about certain topics like cars or sports. And I'll pay extra close attention, just like I would to a toddler that's like explaining his favorite movie to me. And then the robots went pow all over the spaceships, and then and I'm just sitting there like, And then like the meanest part is that I always size him up by how much he lets me get away with pulling that. I don't know. I guess it's a little evil, but most of them never really catch on, so what's the harm?
What's the meanest, cruelest thing you've ever said to a man?
Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much shit for this. But I taught him a motherfucking lesson. Okay, my ex-boyfriend one time told me, he said, I've always wondered what you would look like with long curly hair. But keep in mind, this motherfucker was in love with his ex who had beautiful long curly hair. So I was triggered. I said, oh really? I was like, send me one of your photos from high school. He's like, why? And I was like, I want to see what your hair looked like before it started receding. You want to see what it looked like with long hair? Bitch, I want to see what you look like with a full head of hair. My hair may be short, but fuck, at least it don't go all the way back here.
I mean, you was with him, licking on that receding hairline, so joke's on you. Okay, I have to get up and close this goddamn blind. That was literally one window that all that sunlight was coming from. Just one blind covering one window. Anyway, these responses though, I thought they would be a little funnier. Like, it was just like, all right, girl, weird flex. It seemed like some of them were happy to, you know, have said these rude things to people. And mind you, I don't condone saying mean, cruel things to anybody, but we are all flawed people, and sometimes someone can trigger you to say some fucked up shit. It happens, okay? And this makes me think of a time that I said something really mean to a guy. I've said mean things to men, I ain't gonna lie. But only the men who tried to play me. That's the thing about me. I'm not gonna come for you unless you come for me. I'm very nice to people until they come with some bullshit. And I know a lot of y'all think y'all know me. Y'all don't know me, all right? I'm a very cool, chill, nice person, like off top, unless you come to me with some nonsense. I always gloat about the fact that me and my older sister, we've only had one argument as adults. I'm sure we probably argued as kids, can't remember when, but as adults, we've had one argument in all of our adulthood. Me and my closest friends, we don't argue at all. I have two close friends. I literally have not gotten in one argument or one disagreement with them at all. And we've been friends for years. So I'm very easy to get along with as long as you ain't on no bullshit. So let me tell y'all about the time a nigga was on some bullshit. This was a male friend. And he liked me, apparently, okay? We have mutual friends, and my other friends will always be like, D, he likes you. Like, he wants you. And I'm like, no, it's not like that, no. Because he never said anything to me blatantly. So I just was like, nah, we just cool. And this nigga apparently did like me, but since nothing was happening between us, he tried to make other people think that I wanted him, that I liked him. It was weird. So this nigga told some people that I had him over at my place during booty call hours. And let me tell y'all the situation. I'll try to make this quick. So he worked like this night shift and he hit me up to hang out. Like we would hang out periodically. And he was like, oh, I could do this day, but I got to work after. I think he started his shift at like midnight. And I was like, oh, you could just come before you go to work. So he ended up coming over. We chopped it up for a couple hours. That's it. Nothing ever happened because we were just friends. And he ended up leaving like, I think around like 11:30 at night. So he was at my place until 11:30 at night. So then he goes around trying to brag, oh yeah, she had me over at booty call hours. What y'all think that mean? Nigga, you hit me up to hang out. You bum ass nigga. You had to go to work after that. That's why you came over that late. Why are you trying to make it seem like I hate you up like, ooh, come over at night around 11? That's not what the fuck happened. So I didn't like how he manipulated that story. So what I said to him when we met up, I was like, listen, I didn't appreciate that. We're no longer friends, by the way, because there's some other shit that happened. He was on some bullshit all the way around. But I was like, I didn't appreciate you saying that because you're trying to make it seem like I want you. Let's be clear. I don't look at you like that at all. I don't want you. We could both be in a bed, butt-ass naked, and I wouldn't get the least bit aroused. That is how much I don't want you. And I'm not looking at you like that. And when I said that, his face, it dropped a little bit, and that's when I was like, oh, was that too far? And then I repeated this to a couple other friends, and they was like, But here's the thing. You trying to make it seem like I want you, and I'm trying to fuck you to other people, and I don't fuck with that. I don't like that. So I thought my response was justified. It was very accurate as well as true. Nigga, I don't want you. And you she trying to have me over at booty call hours. Nigga, what? I'm not getting no booty call from you. Like, fuck out of here. Anyway, he was problematic anyway because, like I said, some other shit happened and we ended up stopping being friends anyway. But, yeah, I thought that was kind of mean. And, yeah, definitely have said mean things to people I was in relationships with when they said mean things to me. See, I reciprocate. It's that energy. And I want to get to a place where I'm in so much peace that I don't let anybody even take me out of my element. That is what I'm working on. But I ain't there yet. So don't fucking play with me. You gonna get real sweet, nice D until you play with me. I'm so nice. I'm laughing because in the recent video I just said don't listen to people when they tell you shit about themselves because they're usually biased. But no, real shit. If you talk to any of my friends, any of my family, they'll tell you I'm super cool. I'm not confrontational. I'm not shady to people just out the blue, out of nowhere. I don't operate like that. Like, I'm super cool. I'm laughing because I just made that comment. But no, this is fact. This is fact what I'm saying about myself. But if you come with some nonsense, then we got a problem, you know? Anyway, this is already getting too long. I'm going to head out. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this video, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.